For the price to move up and down, it needs to have liquidity. So, and I have made 39,000 euros this month. There's 5 days that I traded in total, and all of them I lost. What's up, guys? It's your boy Davi, and in the past 4 months, I have made over $100,000 trading in the markets using very simple strategy, which is supply and demand using only London and New York liquidity. And in this video, I want to go over my results and show you exactly how I did it. Okay, so now we are on my journal. And what I want to do is I want to go month by month analyzing my performance. There's going to be some very interesting insights, so really stick through this video. So as you can see, I started this account on September and I have made 20,862 euros, which is, let's say, $21,000. I had a 72% win rate. My profit factor was 3.8. So my average risk to reward, or my average win, is 3.8 based on what I was risking. If you look at this calendar right here, I had some winning days, I had some losing days, I had some, pretty much break-even trades, 816 euros. Yes, these are all my trades right here. I want to look at TradeZella score because TradeZella score is a great score to indicate how well you were trading based on your win percentage, profit factor, and average win loss. 76.6 is good result. It's not perfect, it's not 100, it's not 90, but it's a good result. It was the first month me trading this account, and guys, I have been documenting all of this account every single time, every single day on my social medias. So I had some extra pressure when I was doing this, right? There was some extra pressure. And for me to start off a month, first month this good, was a blessing because it was like a boost for my, mental, as I had a lot of pressure because I was doing this publicly. As you can see, look, I have made 21,000 euros, yes? If you look at my results, there were no crazy days. There were no crazy days. There were no like $15,000 euro trades or 20,000. This was like 1,000, 3,000, 1.5, small loss, 800. Then I had two decent sized days, which is 5.2K, 5.7K. But all of this, all these small profits, small results added up to 21,000, which is a great result. Trade time performance. When I was the most profitable when I was trading, okay? So based on the time that I entered the trade. So as you can see here, it's pretty, I would love to zoom into this. But as you can see, this is around New York session, and this is London, because in the morning I have London, in the evening I have New York. And as you can see, based on the red dots and the green dots, I have been doing a little bit better in London session based on how many trades I won and lost, in the London session. When we go to New York session, yes, I have been trading more actively, so it's normal that I had more losses. But also my biggest win, which is 4K, happened in the New York session. So I can analyze this and I can say that maybe I should be transferring and focusing a little bit more towards the London session. But as you can see, both of these sessions work really well, and I have ended up being profitable on both sessions. Here is how long I held the trade. Okay, so some of my decent wins were held for 2 days, which is pretty long, which is not, I don't like to hold trades overnight. I don't like to hold trades over the weekend. So that's not common for me. As you can see, I exit the trades in 16:36, 1 hour on average. And I go in and out and I take my profits. Before we go further into analyzing my trading performance, first I want to jump on the charts and show you how I find my entries, okay? So now we're looking at GBP USD. If we're looking at GBP USD, we only want to focus on London and New York liquidity because Asia doesn't have to do anything with it, right? So to do that, I will use my indicator to support that. And here, the green box represents London session, the gray box represents New York session, and the blue box represents Asia session. So to take the liquidity off either London or New York, I look to the left, and what do I see? Right away, we have a massive move to the upside from previous New York session. we had a gather of liquidity right at this point before making another impulse to the upside. So this is my liquidity for the upcoming London or New York session. Now, and previous New York session ended. The Asia session started and it came to the point of interest. But I'm not taking this trade because, like I said, we don't want to trade the wrong session for the right pair. Okay, so we need to wait for Asia session to be over and for London session to take that liquidity for sells. Now, I'm only looking for sells because I identified that my bias is bearish. I identified that by looking at the market structure. And if we turn this off, you can see the price was forming higher highs and higher lows. And eventually it broke down, started forming lower lows, lower highs, which is a bearish market structure, which tells me that I should only be looking for sells. So first you identify bias, then you find points of interest to enter your trades. So let's turn this back on and let's wait for London session. And let me show you something cool. What happens is the London session started by taking out Asia lows. So what it needs to do now for it to continue lower, for the price to move up and down, it needs to have liquidity. So it took out the Asia lows to push the price higher into our point of interest, the liquidity of the previous New York session. And now it's on the way back to this zone. So once we had that test, once we had that rejection, I entered that trade, which looks like this. And we traded to the downside, okay? It's pretty simple. But guys, at the end of this video, what I also will show you and crazy entry criteria, which you can use right away, and your entries will get 5 times better, trust me. So 21,000 for a month of September. Now, if we go to October 1st to 31st, here are my results. October was a little bit slower. I had 15,826 euro profit. As you can see, my trade zealous score was 74. My profit factor was lower. My trade win rate was also lower. So I took a slight hit. But I mean, I still made $15,000, which is a very good result. And if we look at the weekly stats, you can see that on week 5, I lost. So this is something I want to talk about because I finished the month with 2 losing days, right? So I had a little bit worse moment. I had worse performance the previous month, and the last 2 days of the month, last 3 days of the month, I have lost because here on Thursday, I lost. On Friday, I didn't trade. Sunday, Monday didn't trade. So 3 trading days, all of them I lost before stepping into a new month. Okay, so I made $15,000. These stats maintained pretty much the same. Here you can see that I focused more on New York session. Maybe that's why I had a little bit worse month and my performance was more worse. So now I had 3 losing days in a row at the end of October. My confidence, does it go lower? It should go. So what happens? We go into November. How do I start the November? I start November with 2 more losing days. So there's 5 days that I traded in total, and all of them I lost. All of them I was not profitable. So imagine how emotionally it was challenging for me, especially that I'm doing all of this in public. I'm sharing this. People are following me, right? So I'm starting with this type of energy the next month. What do? I recoup. I look at my performance. I look at my mistakes, and I try to make it better. Okay, so now we go into November, and I have made 39,000 euros this month. I had 62%, 62.5% win rate on 7.99 profit factor with a 95 trade zealous score. All right, but I stepped into this month with a losing streak. 3 days prior, I was losing, and 2 days into the first 2 trading days into the month, I also went losing. But this was my biggest profit month so far. Why? It is because I didn't let those losses affect my decisions. You know, emotions affect your decisions. Bad decisions lead to bad results. I said, fuck my emotions. I will focus on executing my trading system. I know this works. I know in and out the strategy. Why would I change something? Because I had 5 losing days? I don't care. I kept focusing on executing my trading system, and I had the biggest profit month. Let's look at this. Week 1, 0 euros. Week 2, 13,000. Week 3, 8.6. 4, 4.47. 5, 12.3. This is my curve. Boom. Almost 40,000 euros in 1 month. What I did differently, look, there was more trades executed in London session. Some of my biggest trades here were executed in London session. So I looked at my previous trading performance. I saw that it was lower because I didn't trade as much in London session. I did the opposite. I focused more on London session and I had great results. This is what trading is: trial and error, analyzing your past mistakes, learning from them, and improving them. This is what I did, and I had the biggest month so far. Okay, so I'm feeling great. I'm stepping into December. I know it's slower. I started with 6.1K loss, which is biggest loss I had on this trading account. Why? Let me change this to December. December to now. This is December 16th. I'm up $8,000, 40% win rate, 1.88 factor, 72% zealous score. I started this month with 6.1K loss, the biggest loss so far. Why? Emotions. I got too cocky. I got too confident because I made $40,000 with that account the past month. Again, emotions. So now I take a step back. I don't trade Tuesday, Wednesday. I analyze what happened. I analyze that my emotions were in control of me. And that's why I had such a big loss. I wasn't planning to lose that much. I lost because of my emotions. So I come back, I have a break-even trade. The next trade I make almost $10,000. Losing almost 8,000 euros. Guys, this is the importance of analyzing your past performance and making improvements. One of the best entry criteria I have ever used is equal high or equal low liquidity. And let me show you what I mean. So when you decide to enter the trade and you have for example, a demand that you want to take a sell, 95% of retail traders will enter this trade as soon as the price touches its point. But I do it a little bit differently because I want to avoid those stop hunts and I want to trade with the liquidity. So if I see this type of demand that I want to take a sell off, what I will be waiting for is I will wait for the price to form equal lows because we're looking at demand, right? So if we have equal lows, we can mark them up right here. Those are our equal lows. What does that mean? That means that 95% of retail traders, they saw this demand, they saw this equal lows, or in other words, a support, and they entered a long position with their stop losses below the structure and to the upside. What happens? The price moves like this and then goes into the profit. So to avoid that, you need to identify those equal lows. Wait for the price to break below the equal lows to get this liquidity, because this is the liquidity. All of these stop losses below is liquidity. And once the price breaks back into this range, that's where you enter a position, okay? And that's how you trade with the 5%. Now, let me show you a similar example now to the downside on the charts. So here, let's say I was looking to take a short right from this supply, which is right here. 95% of traders, they saw the supply being touched. They entered this position right here. What happens? Here, guys, we have equal highs, right? This is our liquidity. Where's our liquidity? Our liquidity is above the equal highs. Our liquidity is above the retail traders. So what happens next? The price moves up, moves down. Everyone's excited. And then, boom, you're stopped out. So if you don't want to be this guy, what you need to do, you need to identify the supply, identify that there is equal highs, and now wait for the price to take this liquidity, which is above, and break back into the range. So once the price breaks back into the range, here we have a close. So you enter the position, and now you trade with the liquidity and you take profits from the markets.